Good morning, my dear students. I welcome to all of you to this session of refrigeration and air conditioning. This is lecture number 30, psychometry and air conditioning process part 3. So, which is coming under module 4. You know that this is a part psychometry which is coming under the ME 504 fifth semester. ME 5 paper code is your ME 504 refrigeration and air conditioning, and it is dedicated for BTech 5th semester mechanical student. Okay, so I am Dhiraj Mondal, assistant professor, JIS College of Engineering, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Let us start. You know that last few classes I have taken this. I have taken some lecture on psychometry. What is psychometry? Properties of psychometry. Then psychometric process we are discussing, and after that we will be discussing psychometric chart also. So here the psychometry, the definition, it was discussed: the study of moist air or mixture of dry air and water vapor, and these are the properties: dew point temperature. What is dew point temperature? Relative humidity ratio, dry bulb temperature, wet bulb temperature, thermometer, the wet bulb and dry bulb temperature, how you can measure the from the thermometer, by the help of thermometer, and wet weak, cotton weak, that was discussed. Then humidity, after that humidity was discussed: specific humidity, absolute humidity, followed by psychometric ratio. Then after that psychometric process, here sensible heating, sensible cooling, and the sensible heating was discussed, and the sensible cooling was discussed. Then sensible cooling and dehumidification, that part also I have covered. So cooling and dehumidification, here basically the removal of heat and moisture from moist air, from moist air, it involves the sensible and latent heat transfer. Okay, so in this figure already I have told you that the first of all the sensible heat is extracted from the air, and then after that latent heat is extracted, so that the particular graph, it will be shown in the it is shown in the psychometric chart. And the dehumidification by cooling process, here you can see the schematic illustration of dehumidification by cooling process. The dry bulb temperature is shown is T1 to T2 R to T2 I. Okay, so here the when the air is entering, so what happened? Suddenly, some by the help of some cooling coil, the temperature is minimizing, and at the same time some the air water particle is extracted. Okay, so we have seen that if mf hf, this amount of that means your this mf is the mass of the particular fluid, and hf is the enthalpy. And now what happened when it is basically the water particle which is water particle which is mixed with the air particle, that water particle is taken away. Okay, and we are getting some dry and cooling air at the outlet. Okay, so here the process of, you can see, from say point 1 to point 2 I and 2 R, the real process is showing 1 to 2 R, that is the real process by the help of this graph. And the ideal process is, first of all, it is taking some latent heat, sensible heat from the system, and it is coming towards the dew point line. Then from the dew point line, it is the heat is again extracted, that is a latent heat, so that the from dew point line to 2I, up to 2I, this is the ideal process. And this process is basically not practicable. The real process is your 1 to 2R. Okay, so this is how I can show in the psychometric chart that the cooling and cooling side by side dehumidification is done. Dehumidification means your moisture content, we are extracting moisture content from the mixture, water and air mixture. Okay, so so here basically this the application of this cooling and dehumidification in rainy season, you can see this application. Now the heating and dehumidification, sorry, heating and humidification. So heating and humidifying or humidification, it is the addition of heat and moisture to moist air, and it also involves sensible and latent heat transfer. So what happened here? The addition of heat and moisture to moist air, and it also involves the sensible heat and latent heat. Again, you can see in this schematic diagram here, you can see the mass is entering and some heat is given, a q amount of heat is added into this mass of air. Now the what happened, some enthalpy is added because the heat content, enthalpy is the function of heat content, and at the outlet we are getting T2 and H2. T2 is the temperature and H2 is the enthalpy. Now if I am humidifying, if I am heating, that means if I am heating this part, what happened, you can see here. So in this figure you can see the heating as well as humidification is done from 1 to 2, process 1 to 2, you can see here. Though, so the 1 to 0, 1 to 0 it is your sensible heating, and 0 to 2 it is your latent heat. Okay, sensible heat and latent heat. So to reach the point from 1 to 2 by the help of heating and humidification process, what you need to do, we will produce some heating coil inside the air particle. Okay, in the air water air mixture. So we will produce some heating coil as well as some moisture content will be produced, so that it can be possible, it could have been shown here. You can see the 1 to 2 is the heating and humidification process. Okay, so directly you can we can that means I can draw the 1 to 2 process, 1 to 2 a straight line, but so the phenomena is occurring, what is occurring, that first of all it is taking some sensible heat, it is raising the temperature, then it is taking some latent heat, and it is phase changing its phase. Okay, so this is all about the heating and dehumidification. So basically what happened, in case of heating and dehumidification, if the air is passed over a solid absorbent, heating and in case of heating and humidification, what happened here, the heating and humidification, what happened, if the air is passed through a humidifier which has heated water sprays instead of simply recirculated spray, the air is humidified. Okay, the air is humidified and may be heated, cooled and unchanged in temperature. In such a process, the air increases the specific humidity and the enthalpy, and the dry bulb temperature will increase or decrease according to the initial temperature of the air and that of the spray. If sufficient water is supplied relative to the mass flow of air, the air will approach saturation at water temperature. In this figure, it is example, it is 1 to 2, it is denoting. Here you can see the your 1 to 4, 1 to 4 denotes the case of the in which a spray, sorry, not 1 to 4, 1 to 2, this process, here it is the case, in this case the which spray temperature and is greater than the dry bulb temperature. Okay, So as in the case of adiabatic saturation, the degree to which the process approaches saturation can be expressed in terms of bypass factor and saturating efficiency. If the water rate relative to the air quantity is smaller, the water temperature will drop significantly during the process. Okay, so the resultant process will be a curved line, such as the line you can see, and where the basically the leaving water temperature, you can see here the 1 to 2 here, the process where the temperature is changing or temperature is increasing, and as well as the humidification is done, or the moisture content in the water is also in increasing order. So this is how we can explain the heating and humidification process. Now let us discuss what is humidification or humidifying. It is the addition of moisture to moist air without the addition of heat. Okay, so what happened, that we are not adding the heat, we are just adding the addition of moisture content or moist air is called your humidification. Okay, now removing sensible heat and moisture, how we can remove, this is the psychrometric chart where humidity ratio and dry bulb temperature is shown. In the vertical line the humidity ratio and or specific humidity also you can say, or in the horizontal line it is a dry bulb temperature scale. Now the vertical line is shown the dry bulb temperature, and the horizontal line is showing the specific humidity and the wet bulb temperature you can see here. And if I am just moving downward, then humidification is taking place, because dehumidification is taking place, because the humidity is specific humidity is decreasing. If I am moving upward, then the humidification is taking place. And now if I am moving towards rightward, then it is the heating process, and if I am moving towards leftwards, then it is the cooling process. And this line is also is your wet bulb temperature, and the enthalpy is also here. It is, you can see here, this is the enthalpy line, and this one is your relative this one is the relative humidity, RH, denoted by phi. Okay, now let us discuss about the adiabatic or evaporative cooling. A psychrometric process which involves the cooling without heat loss or gain. Sensible heat lost by air is converted to latent heat in the added water vapor. Okay, so the adiabatic, what I told you, the adiabatic or evaporative cooling. So what happened here? It involves the cooling without heat loss or gain. So without heat loss or gain, we are just cooling down. That means how it is possible? We are just a adiabatic process is, that means there is not any kind of heat transfer in case of adiabatic process. Now in case of adiabatic process, so just what I am doing, I am just mixing the vapor particle, mixing the water particle, so that the temperature is minimizing, but we are not losing any kind of heat content. Okay, because it is adiabatically the process is done. Okay, so this is the adiabatic. Now you can see the dry bulb temperature, absolute humidity, and saturation curve. If humidification by an evaporative cooling is done, so what happened, if I am humidifying that particular air particle, or the particular space or region, so what we will see, that the humidification is done by evaporative cooling, means by the help of the evaporative cooling, or so what happened, the temperature is minimizing, but what happened here, the specific humidity is increasing. Am I right? So specific is in humidity is increasing. It is in increasing order, and the it is coming towards the saturation curve. So adiabatic saturation process, we should have discuss the adiabatic saturation process basically in an insulated chamber. When unsaturated air flows over a long sheet of water, the water evaporates and the specific humidity of the air increases. As the evaporation takes place, both the air and water are cooled. The process continues until the energy transferred from the air to the water is equal to the energy required to vaporize the water. When the when this point is reached, thermal equilibrium exists with respect to water, air and water vapor, and consequently the air is saturated. Okay, the equilibrium temperature is called the adiabatic saturation temperature or the thermodynamic wet bulb temperature. The makeup water is introduced at this temperature to make the water level constant, and the adiabatic cooling process is shown here. Basically the adiabatic cooling process, you can see, and for the vapor in the air vapor mixture, although the total pressure of the mixture is constant, then and the partial and you can see the and here the partial pressure of the vapor increases and the saturated state corresponds to the adiabatic saturation temperature. The vapor is initially at dry bulb temperature and it is cooled adiabatically to the dry bulb temperature 1 to 2, which is equal to the adiabatic saturation temperature TWB. Okay, now what happened, the adiabatic saturation temperature and wet bulb temperature are taken to be equal for all practical purpose. The wet bulb temperature lies between the dry bulb temperature and dew point temperature. Okay, so this is the adiabatic saturation process. Okay, now again it can be described that when the water unsaturated air is flowing over the water vapor, then and it is totally taking place in a insulated chamber. The saturated air is coming out from the point from the at the exit, and as a result what we will get, the makeup water, that means your some specific the humid water, that means some humid air is adding into into that particular mixture of air water mixture, and at the outlet we are getting some saturated air, and this is totally happening adiabatically. Okay, so this is all about the adiabatic uh, saturation process. Now adiabatic evaporative cooling is shown in the figure, already I have told you. Now the adiabatic mixing of moist air and steam. So the psychometric process that involves no net heat loss or gain during the mixing of two air stream. So it is your known as the adiabatic mixing of the moist and stream. So in the adiabatic mixing, the equation you can see the summation of m a is mass flow rate into enthalpy plus q dot is equal to summation, that means the mass into m is plus q in is equal to m is. Okay, in plus q plus m out. Okay, out is equal to m into s. Okay, now the in the dark system you can see schematic adiabatic mixing of two stream of moist air. In this dark system, what we have seen that from point from the left side to right side, if I am observing, so you can see the enthalpy H1 specific humidity is your W1, M is the mass flow rate. Okay, Ma is the mass flow rate, and the T1 is the temperature of section 1 and T2 is the temperature of section 2. Now when it is entering into this pipe and somewhere in this portion, when it is coming here, then the part of two types of air particle, it is mixing together, and as a result we are getting Ma3 T3 W3 H3. This is the enthalpy, specific humidity, temperature and mass of the air after mixing together. So this is the process, this is the way, and how we can calculate that total mass into and the mass flow rate into H plus Q. Q is the heat added. It is equal to M3 H3. Okay, so M1 S1 is equal plus M2 S2 is equal to M1 M3 H3. Okay, so this is how we can calculate. Now the dry bulb temperature here, the condition is shown here, dry bulb temperature versus humidity ratio. So from 1 to 3, how it is traveling, how it is going, moving, that can be described in this figure. You can see the mass M1 plus M2 is equal to M3, that is the conservation of mass, and M1 into W1 plus M2 into W2 is equal to M3 into W3. So M1 H1 plus M2 H2 is equal to M3 H3. Okay, so this is the condition. Mixing of several air stream is the process which is very frequently used in air conditioning. The mixing normally takes place without the addition or reduction of either heat or moisture, that is adiabatically, and at constant total moisture content. Thus we can write this equation, M is equal to what? M1 is equal to M2 plus M1 plus M2 is equal to M3, and M1 H1 M1 W1 plus M2 W2 is equal to M3 W3, and it is equal and M1 H1 plus M2 H2 is equal to M3 H3. Okay, so this is all about the mixing of air stream. So by from 2 dark to 1 dark, if it is coming, then the if I mean what I have told, that if the specific humidity, enthalpy and moisture is taken, then we can say that mass flow rate into difference between specific humidity of section 1 minus specific humidity of section 2 is equal to mass flow rate M2 into W3 minus W2, that means the specific humidity of section 3 minus section 2. Okay, so this is how you can write, and also the ratio of mass flow rate M1 by M2, it can be written as the capital W minus 2 W minus W3 minus W2 by W1 minus W3. So it is equal to H3 minus H2 by H1 minus H3. Okay, so this is how it is it can be calculated. And also there is another formula from the cyclomatic chart we can derive, that is your M1 by M2 is equal to H3 minus H2 by H1 minus H3, or M1 is equal to W3 minus W2 by W1 minus W3. So where H is what? Enthalpy, and W is equal to specific humidity. So in the given figure, by the help of the given figure, the enthalpy, you can see that this enthalpy when the point is running moving from point 1 to point 2, then it is moving back to point 3, then what happened, we can say that the dry bulb temperature is suddenly increasing or increased, and the specific humidity is also it is in increasing order. But when it is coming into contact of this fluid is coming into contact 1 and 2, then we will see that there is some fall in temperature which is falling down, and the humidity also, specific humidity also falling down. So 1 to 2 first of all, then 2 to 3. Now the if the this is the process, this is the way to understand this part, then we can say that the if the both the air is your heat enough, then we can say that this part, this three portion, it may change. Okay, so this is all about the adiabatic mixing. On the psychrometric chart, the specific humidity and enthalpy scale are linear. Okay, so specific humidity and enthalpy scale are linear, and ignoring enthalpy deviation. Therefore the final state 3, here you can see the final state 3 lies on the straight line connecting to the initial state of the two stream mixing, and the final state 3 final state 3 uh, this final state 3 lies on the straight line corresponding to the initial state of the two stream mixing, and the final state 3 divides this line into two parts that are in the same ratio as were the two masses of the air before mixing. If the air quantities are known in volume instead of mass mass unit, it is generally sufficiently accurate to unit of meter cube per minute. The mixing generation in the mixing equation, the inaccuracy introduced is due to the difference in specific volume at two initial state. The difference in then is small for most of the comfort air conditioning problem. Okay, so this is the total knowledge on the adiabatic mixing, and the adiabatic mixing or the mixing of air stream, and it can be calculated by the help of the formula m1 by m2 is equal to w3 minus w2. This w3 means this part, w3 minus w2 by w1 means this is your w1, you can see this is the w1 minus w3. Okay, or it can be written as h3 minus h2. What is h3? H3 is the enthalpy at point 3. In the figure it is also shown. So h3 here, enthalpy at point 3 minus enthalpy at point 2. So h3 minus h2 by h1 minus h3. So h1 is what? Enthalpy at section 1, and h3 is the enthalpy at section 3. So this difference is by the help of this formula we can find out the ratio of mass flow rate at section 1, mass flow rates of point 1 and point 2. Okay, so next class we will be discussing the psychrometric climate classification, then your psychrometric chart, this part will be discussed, psychrometric chart description. Then after that you will be seeing the dry bulb temperature line and related things. Okay, so today up to this, the dew point line, specific enthalpy, volume. Okay, some problem will be taken, and based on that problem we have to draw the psychrometric chart. So today up to this, thank you for listening. Jai Hind.